So in the last episode, we dived into Losing Weight by Cameron featuring Prodigy of Mobb Deep. For this season finale, we're going to focus on another standout track from Cameron's SDE album, and that track is called Valence featuring a late Old Dirty Bastard.
I know you're gonna dig this. I know you're gonna dig this. I know you're gonna dig this.
Now, I had the privilege of producing 12 tracks on that SDE project, including songs like Let Me Know, as well as Losing Weight and Valence with ODB. Now, we started working on SDE almost as soon as we completed Confessions of Fire. And as a producer, I was experimenting with new styles, blending sample-based beats with original compositions. Listen closely and catch tracks like Double Up, where there's chopped up sample work alongside tracks like Come Kill Me, which was an original composition, but they still had that same gritty street feel to it. But with Valence, I wanted to push things a little bit further. My goal was to have that raw, high-intensity energy of a heavy metal track into a hip-hop beat. The result was something intense and unfiltered, a sound that added a unique edge to SDE and showcased the versatility I was aiming for on that
My
album.
approach to creating this beat was way different than anything I was doing at that time. I was largely a sample-based producer, but I was determined to make some original compositions. Not necessarily because I wanted to change the soundscape, I just wanted to simply make some more money. Because I was working on several tracks on various projects for Cameron, Dutch and Spade, and Charlie Baltimore, I knew I had to expand my sound and show some versatility. For this track, I knew I wanted something that sounded like a mix between heavy metal and hip hop. I played around with the Roland JV2080 and landed on this sound, which was actually in the effects category. This set the texture for the entire beat. After that, it was all about adding things that worked. At the time, I was still learning the process of making original compositions. Today, I understand the importance of process. That's adding the right elements that work together, not just any elements. Rapid tempo was anywhere between 85 and 95 beats per minute. So I played around until I found the sweet spot. Once the energy was there, the inspiration just started flowing. The bass, the strings, and the orchestral hits all came from the Roland JV2080. Of course, the MPC was the tool of choice for the drums. Breakbeats was my go-to, but this time I used drum sounds from my favorite folder. Every beat maker has their favorite kick and snare.
That's how I fuck her. Fuck yo. Even Juvenile said, you don't give a fuck. Me, I'm the worst on this shit. Hold on, go first on this shit. Let's see how many times I can curse on this shit.
Now, I know you're going to dig this. Now, the collaboration between Cameron and Old Dirty Bastard on Valence came about purely by coincidence. We were working on the SDE project at Platinum Island Studios in the Village section of New York City. Back then, we would just call around, just for studio time anywhere, just so that we can keep working. Now, Cam and I had a routine. I would pretty much work on beats the day or the night before and bring them back to the studio the next day. So this day was nothing different. I had my MPC and my Roland JV2080 set up, and I was experimenting with a new beat I was playing with out loud, and I was playing it very loud through the studio speakers. Now, out of nowhere, the studio door just flies open, and it's no other than ODB himself. So me and Cam, we looked at each other stunned in disbelief, and ODB came in and he didn't bother to have no introductions, or he didn't say, yo, what up, bro? None of that happened. Instead, he was just nodding his head to the beat, and then he asked, yo, what beat is this? A quick conversation between him and Cam followed, and then he asked, yo, let me get on that. So without missing a beat, ODB went straight into the microphone booth, put the headphones on, asked the engineer to play the beat back a few times, and then he immediately spits about 8 bars, recorded it all in like one take, And then he walked out of the microphone booth without even listening back to what he had just recorded. He left suddenly as soon as he arrived without saying a word. Cam and I left there in disbelief, laughing and replaying what had happened for probably days. Now, but fast forward maybe 2 weeks later though, Entertainment Records receives a call and an invoice from ODB's team for a whopping $15,000. Yo, so that concludes this week's episode of I Know You're Gonna Dig This. But be sure to check out next week's episode where we discuss some interesting stories behind some of my favorite productions. Peace.